Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness happening in Salem. Grab your coffee and get comfortable, because we have a massive, emotionally explosive update for you today regarding the August 17th event. Let's jump right into the drama. We have to start with the most heartbreaking, gut-wrenching storyline currently playing out on. I am talking about the tragic, impending loss of Lexie Carver. Let's be real for a second, the writers have truly put Abe and Theo through the absolute ringer over the past decade, and this upcoming episode is going to shatter their hearts all over again. Kayla is about to deliver a massive, devastating blow to the Carver. As Lexie's condition rapidly deteriorates and she enters her final agonizing moments, Kayla is forced to step in as her primary physician. And you won't believe how incredibly emotional this scene is going to be. Kayla has to look Abe and Theo in the eyes and tell them the one thing no family ever wants to hear. There is absolutely nothing more they can do. Lexie is dying, and her time is up. Can you even imagine the psychological toll this is taking on Theo? This poor young man just discovered his mother alive in those horrifying DiMera underground pods, only to realize she was essentially kept in a state of suspended animation just to die all over again. It is incredibly cruel. If we look back at history, Lexie originally passed away back in 2012 from a brain tumor caused by toxic fumes in the secret tunnels, a direct result of the DiMera family's twisted games. Abe had to watch the love of his life fade away in his arms, and Theo, who was just a little boy navigating his autism diagnosis, lost his ankle. Now, 14 years later, they are being forced to relive that exact same trauma. The sheer cruelty of EJ, DiMera, and Dr. Rolf playing God with Lexie's life is staggering. I think this move by the writers is both brilliant and deeply sadistic. It brings up so much legacy lore, but my heart absolutely breaks for Abe and Theo. Kayla telling them that they need to find a way to say their final goodbyes is going to be an Emmy-worthy performance. We all know Mary Beth Evans always delivers when it comes to these heavy, tear-jerking hospitals. But here's the kicker. The spoilers are heavily emphasizing that this time it is going to be even harder to say goodbye because Lexie's death is going to be... Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You are probably screaming at your screens right now saying, "Come on, nobody ever really dies in Salem," and you are completely right to be skeptical. This is Days of Our Lives. We have seen Stefano, Marlena, Bo, and Hope return from the great beyond more times than we can count. But the tone of this upcoming episode feels incredibly final. It feels like the show is trying to give Lexie a definitive, respectful send-off that closes the loop on the DiMera pod storyline. While I will never rule out a magical resurrection serum in the distant future, for right now, Lexie is truly done for. The emotional fallout from this is going to fuel Abe and Theo's hatred for EJ for years to come. I honestly predict that Theo might go down a very dark path after this. He has always been so sweet and pure, but grief changes people, and discovering his mother was a literal science experiment might just push him over the edge. But Salem is a town of extreme contrasts, and while the Carver family is surrounded by death and despair in one wing of the hospital, new life is fighting to make its grand entrance in another. That's right. Chanel is being rushed to the hospital because she is officially going into labor. The timing of this is pure soap opera perfection. The juxtaposition of Lexie taking her final breaths while Chanel brings a new generation into the world is poetic, dramatic, and so incredibly classic Date. Johnny is going to be right by her side, desperately trying to keep Chanel calm and guiding her through the agonizing, worsening pain of her contractions. I have to say, I absolutely love Johnny and Chanel together. They have grown so much as a couple. Do you guys remember how chaotic their relationship started? From their impulsive European wedding to the devil possession storyline that tore them apart, they have fought tooth and nail to get back to this moment. Johnny stepping up to be the rock for Chanel is a beautiful, full-circle moment for his character. He is Sammy Brady and EJ DiMera's son, which means he has chaos in his DNA, but in this moment he is showing a level of maturity that we rarely see from the DiMera men. I think Johnny is terrified out of his mind. He is watching the woman he loves scream in agony, and he knows that in Salem, childbirth is never just a simple medical procedure. There is always a complication, a storm, a power outage, or a crazy villain lurking in the maternity ward. A lot of fans think Paulina is going to burst into the room and take over, but I actually think Johnny is going to hold his ground and be the sole support Chanel needs. However, the pain is going to get significantly worse from here, and I am legitimately worried about Chanel's. We have seen so many tragic pregnancies on this show. Remember when Nicole lost her babies, or the endless baby switch dramas? I am praying that Chanel and Johnny get a healthy, happy baby without any doctor. Rolf interference, but with EJ currently unraveling, you just never know what collateral damage might occur. Speaking of unraveling, let's pivot to the absolute mess happening over at the Salem Police Department. Javi is about to receive the shock of a lifetime, and he is going to be absolutely horrified. Rafe is finally going to sit Javi down and explain exactly what has been going down in Alameda. And when Javi finds out that Leo Stark is still trapped over there with a completely unhinged, out-of-control Dimitri, all hell is going to break loose. Javi is going to be furious. And honestly, I am entirely on his side. How on earth did the Salem PD and the ISA just leave Leo behind? Let's unpack this for a second. Leo Stark started out as this incredibly manipulative, almost cartoonish villain. Remember when he was blackmailing Sonny Kyriakis and burying people in rugs? But over the past few years, Leo has evolved into one of the most complex, entertaining, and surprisingly sympathetic characters on the canvas. His dynamic with Dimitri von Leuschner was toxic, intoxicating, and deeply destructive. Dimitri is Megan Hathaway's son, which means he has the blood of Stefano DiMera running through his veins. He is obsessive, delusional, and dangerous. The fact that Leo actually made a shocking offer to sacrifice his own freedom so Gwen could escape shows a massive shift in Leo's psychology. He actually cares about Gwen, despite all the horrible things they have done to each other. When Rafe casually drops the bomb that Leo was basically abandoned and left stuck with Dimitri, Javi's reaction is going to be explosive. Javi is going to tear into Rafe, and it is about time somebody called out the sheer incompetence of Salem's law enforcement. I mean, seriously, Rafe Hernandez is the police commissioner, and he just leaves a Salem citizen at the mercy of a known international terrorist? That is crazy. I predict Javi is going to go rogue. He is not going to sit around and wait for Rafe to fill out paperwork. Javi is going to take matters into his own hands to rescue Leo. The history of Alamania on this show is legendary. It's the land of Vivian Alamain, secret dungeons, and sovereign immunity. Dimitri holds all the power over there. If Leo is locked in a room with him, Dimitri could be doing anything to him. The psychological torture Leo must be enduring right now is terrifying. I think this storyline is setting up a massive redemption arc for Leo, and Javi might just be his knight in shining armor. But Rafe has much bigger fish to fry right now, and his primary target is none other than EJ DeMera. This brings us to the most intense, high-stakes, psychological game of chess in the entire episode. Rafe is going to corner Gwen and apply a massive amount of pressure. He wants EJ behind bars, and he knows Gwen is the weak link who can give him the evidence he needs. Rafe is going to offer Gwen the holy grail of criminal justice, full and complete immunity for all of her past. No jail time, no record, a completely clean slate. All she has to do is cooperate with the police and help them destroy EJ DeMera. Now, on paper, this sounds like a no-brainer. Gwen should take the deal, right? But this is where the deep psychological analysis of Gwen Rizchek comes into play. Gwen is absolutely terrified, and she has every right to be. She knows exactly who she is dealing with. EJ DeMera is not just some white-collar criminal. He is a ruthless, calculated mafia boss who has proven time and time again that he knows exactly how to make his enemies disappear. Let's look at Gwen's history. She is Jack Devereaux's daughter, but she has always felt like the outsider, the black sheep who has to claw and scrape for survival. She's been manipulated by Dimitri, betrayed by Leo, and cast aside by her own. She finally has a chance at freedom, but if she crosses EJ, she is signing her own death warrant. Gwen's anxiety is going to be palpable in this. She is going to be pacing the interrogation room, sweating, her mind racing with all the horrible things EJ has done. Remember what EJ did to Clyde Weston? Remember how he treated Sammy and Nicole when they crossed him? EJ's current state of mind is incredibly unstable. He is already facing the wrath of Chad for the Lexie pod situation, and we know that Holly and Nicole are about to discover that he was the mastermind behind planting the drug. EJ's entire empire is crumbling around him. He is a wounded animal, and a wounded DeMera is the most dangerous kind of DeMera. I actually think Rafe is pushing Gwen too hard, without offering her proper protection. Offering her immunity is great, but what good is immunity if she ends up at the bottom of the Salem River? A lot of fans think Gwen is going to bravely stand up and testify against EJ, but I actually think she is going to try to play both sides. Gwen is a survivor. I predict she will pretend to help Rafe while secretly warning EJ to leverage a massive payout. Or maybe she will use this opportunity to finally prove she can be a good person and risk her life to take down Salem's biggest tyrant. The stakes have never been higher. We have Lexie dying a tragic permanent death, leaving Abe and Theo shattered. We have Chanel screaming in the maternity ward, fighting to bring new life into the world with Johnny by her side. We have Javi ready to wage a one-man war on Alamania to save Leo from the clutches of a psychotic Dimitri. And we have Gwen sitting in a cold interrogation room, holding the key to EJ DeMera's destruction but paralyzed by the fear of his deadly retaliation. The web of secrets, lies, and betrayals is tightening, and someone is going to get caught in the cross. I cannot wait to see how this all plays out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Lexie is really gone for good this time? Will Gwen take Rafe's deal? Let's debate.